things aren't meant to be fair. I know you left me down and out, and now the red is red. Got that hit on your head. Should've buried your dead. Should've listened to me and said, oh, how little you know. You better watch out, my friend. When it goes dark, you better lay low. When it goes dark, you better You should've kept up on your end. Should've been there when you said I depended on you over and over again. You think I'll sit here and pretend I don't forgive, I don't forget. Let me tell you this, my friend. You better lay
But we're live, and you know what? We might not have technical issues starting out. I mean, the color key's working pretty good. Oh, I spoke to, see, your chroma key's messed up now.
So what's that? Sounds like you're going through a tunnel.
Really?
No.
Oh. See, I need to know these things if it's true. It's important. How we doing, Ben? Good to see you. Good to see you. February, the RUM-Gaming monthly pulse update. Glad for y'all to join us. Got some
here to spread news and awareness.
We've got some really fun and interesting things to talk about this month. So buckle up first up on our schedule, as always, it's going to be our show and tell. Goat, do you have anything?
Almost wasn't a show and tell, but
almost wasn't. Okay, so you do have something for us then.
I do have something. Not all 3D prints, but 3D printing stuff.
Beautiful. Let's see it.
So first, as we discovered last month, that I printed a Army Air Force logo.
Yeah.
And so I actually made the Air Force one.
There you go. Look at that.
So it's the nice Air Force logo.
I like it.
So that's the only print. Well, no, I take that back. I do have one more print. What was it again? This was a special request order from a coworker for his cup holder in the car. Has 2 cup holders like a normal car, and then there's like this half moon hole for nothing other than like lose things in. So he found this mount that you stick in there, and you have like a magnetic those little circle magnetic chargers. You can mount inside of it and put your phone on it.
That's pretty neat.
And there it is right here. It's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Isn't that neat? Man.
Yeah. You can see how that fits in there nicely, right?
Yeah, just real snug fit, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, first print didn't come out well. And, yeah, I actually don't have the actual print. Well, I do have one more print. This is one made with 4 colors. As you know, it can be a pain in the butt. This is
for your Jeep. Yeah, I do it.
Not for my Jeep.
Oh, well.
It's for the in-laws Jeep. They requested this prior to Christmas.
Are you okay? So explain like the Jeep.
Duck Jeep.
Yeah, explain the duck Jeep thing. Like I see so many like Jeeps with like all these little toy ducks on it. What's the deal with that? Is that something you're going to participate since y'all have a new Jeep?
Kind of. We talked about like I don't want the whole dash covered in ducks.
what's
these little.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? I don't get it.
I mean, I don't know the origin story.
So at the Texas Ren Fair, there's like an entire vendor that all they do is like ducks. Like that's their whole shop.
Jeep ducking originated in 2020 when Alison Parliament, a woman from Ontario, placed a rubber duck on a Jeep in a gas station parking lot. And then it just took off from there. Went viral.
Weird.
So, yeah. It's kind of a weird short start. It's only been going the last 4 years. And, so at Dave & Buster's, they have a duck claw machine.
Oh, goodness.
And Grace likes collecting the various crazy ducks.
Right.
And so we have a small collection. And I told the wife, I was like, what we're going to do is, because up on the dash, there's these 2 like rubber spots where I guess you could maybe put a phone or something.
Uh-huh.
One's more towards the driver, one's more towards the passenger. Like, what we'll do is, like, we'll each pick our favorite duck, and whoever's driving, we'll put theirs in the driver's spot, and then the passenger and the backseat person will put theirs on the right spot. So we'll just have 3 ducks at any given time.
That's
just
a good idea.
3 people in the car.
That's a good idea. I like that.
And then if you ever find one that you just really like that much more, or you want to switch yours out, that's fine. You switch yours out as often as you want, but just have 3 ducks up there.
I like that. Gert has a request. He wants you to explain what happened to his turtle. Words are better than texting.
We'll get to that after the show and tell. That'll be the next 3D printing discussion.
Yeah.
But as you see, this is a duck driving a Jeep. It actually has wheels and fenders and a grill and everything. And this was designed by our, unofficial partner Keith with KBL Creations.
Beautiful.
He actually designed this from scratch. I gave him the measurements for the hitch part, and then he did the rest. And I said, hey, I want a duck. He actually custom designed this grill to match like the Jeep Rubicon grill. And put the text in there. So he designed this from scratch, and I just printed it.
Yeah. Keith's awesome.
Again, the cool shit he can create for you.
Yeah. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Now, as far as non-prints, though, I got a couple things for Christmas that I forgot to mention that we could have talked about last month.
Yeah.
For keeping our filament in the best condition, it likes to absorb moisture. Mm-hmm. So normally, whenever I'm not using it, I put it back in the giant Ziploc bags. It comes in with a little silica pack And for the most part, it works.
Yeah.
But I found these on Temu. They're kind of like the little vacuum bags you use for your clothes, except these are big enough just for a roll of filament and have a little electric vacuum pump.
Oh yeah.
You can stick on there.
Ziploc used to do those for a minute. Like they sold like little packages where you could. Yeah.
So I get a nice vacuum sealed. If you can hear.
Damn, that seal's pretty tight. That's surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tight where it's actually like beveled.
Yeah. I spent $10 on Temu one time, and I got I can't remember if it was like $10 or $6. It was like some ridiculous cheap. And I got like this little like plastic colander set that I just used yesterday. It's like, this is really cool. Like some of this stuff is really neat, especially for $6. Like, come on,
Yeah.
like you can't beat it.
I mean, a lot of the stuff, we've got a few things there, like Crystal's Halloween costume, the leather jacket we got off of Temu, the sword we got off of Temu.
Yeah. T-Pain, he has a Twitch stream and he also has a YouTube channel, but he, on his YouTube and on his Twitch stream, quite often he'll do like these Temu hauls where he'll spend like $5,000 in Temu and just like unbox everything on stream. And some of the stuff is hilarious, man.
The last thing though is also what I got for Christmas. I got a drying box.
Oh, sick.
You put your roll of filament in here and it actually plugs in with power.
Mm-hmm.
Basically like a little dehydrator.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
in case it ever does start printing too weird because it's collected too much moisture, I can put it in there and dry it.
Oh yeah.
Now, for Garrett's question, it's a kind of sort of hard to answer. It's kind of like I don't know, it's like a scientific. So resin printing prints with liquid resin, and then it hardens it layer by layer, same paper thin layers like the regular 3D printer, and it cures those layers with a black light or UV light, one layer at a time, and still fills it with the same grid. I'll have it in to show the grid example handy, but it's a grid on the inside of the model. So if I was to print like this, Mountain Dew can here, the whole walls, everything on the outside look just like a Mountain Dew can. On the inside, it would be a crisscross grid going through the entire thing. It's not a solid object. It's more like structural support to keep its integrity. So as it's printed, though, it prints upside down. So like if this was the plate, it keeps dipping into this resin and pulling out of it and dipping and pulling out of it, doing one paper thin layer at a time until the whole can's done. And then it just hangs upside down by that print bed, and the resin will kind of drip off of it into the tank beneath it. And part of the learning curve with resin printing is I didn't realize that if you're going to make something, solid and enclosed like this, when you're designing the model in the program on the computer, on the bottom here, you would want to put a little hole. And there's a program or a feature in the program that'll actually like add a hole. You tell it where you want it to be, how big you want it to be. And then when it goes to print, it'll print the can like normal, and it'll print the little plug off to the side to match that hole that you put in there. And then what you're supposed to do is once it's done printing, you just let it hang there for like 20-30 minutes. So it'll drip all that resin that's still clung to the grids on the inside out of that hole. If you don't, instead of this being a super light hollow can, it would damn near be as heavy as this filled soda right here because of how much resin is stuck on the inside of it.
Yep.
And then what happens is that resin on the inside over time slowly starts to cure. Well, as it cures, it kind of shrinks, kind of like glue drying on your table. It changes the space that it's occupying. And when it does that, if I printed this can solid, much like his Ninja Turtle, after that resin slowly starts drying, it'll just crack open the side of this can, and then what liquid resin on the inside hasn't cured will start leaking out of it. And that's what happened with his Ninja Turtle bust. It took about a year or however long, I don't know how long it did before he noticed it, but over time, it eventually cracked and leaked resin out, even, X amount of months or a year later. And like I said, it was part of the learning curve. I hadn't had one sit long enough to know that would happen. I have one sitting on my shelf that's a solid cube that hasn't cracked yet, and I printed it 1.5 years ago. So that was kind of my test print right there, where like it hasn't cracked. So I don't know what exactly or how long or what's to say if something will or won't crack. But apparently his turtle cracked, but this cube I have on the shelf is still sitting there just fine. But yeah, it was a learning curve, and then that's one of many reasons that we got out of resin printing. It does amazing, super fine detail, but it's a much longer process and a much more tedious process to make prints. And it's toxic, so it's fun.
Yeah, it's not fun to smell all the time.
Well, I fixed that with a 3D print actually, but I 3D printed charcoal filters to go onto the fans, so it actually like eliminated like 99% of the smell of while it's printing. Now, as I went and like added more resin, that would fill up the room. But
right. Okay.
Yeah, it might have been more of a temperature change in the house that affected it too. Yeah. Kind of a combination. It's having a shrink and expand chemical reaction on the inside, and then you got temperature changes going on the outside, just amplifying it.
Yeah. Who knows, man? That's crazy. So I'm still waiting on a response from that, so we'll hold off on this one until we can skip, come back to that.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna announce.
Yeah. No, what?
We recruited somebody.
They're gonna send. Yeah, we did recruit somebody, but they're gonna send a little blurb about themselves so we can talk about them a little bit more. So we'll hold off on that. We'll come back to it tonight.
Okay.
If I don't get anything from her tonight, we'll come back and announce it fully. But we'll come back to that. So we'll move on.
Yeah. So next on the news is about events that we plan on going to.
Yeah.
We're still kind of spinning some gears on it to make some plans. Our long-term goal down the road is to go to both Tulsa Affair of the Hearts. So they have a summer and winter Affair of the Heart. It's like June and November. And our goal is just to do those 2 big shows. It gives us 6 months gap to prepare for them. It's local, makes it easier to attend, and it's at a reasonable price with a lot of foot traffic. But we're also hoping to recruit a local volunteer to help with that.
Yeah.
Because we'd ideally not like to have to fly a dragon out here just to go stand at a booth with me.
Yeah.
It's not very cost effective with our minimal budget operations. So in the meantime, we have enough funding to like get us through our normal goals of doing 10 prints a month. Like we have enough funding for that, and so unless we get a volunteer soon enough to start prepping for the June Affair of the Heart, then we're probably just going to go to Steampunk November again next year.
Yeah.
And since we had a good time out there and a good response, it might not have been the money that Affair of the Heart's going to make, but it was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good response. We built I think we built a pretty good relationship with the people there. So yeah, I'm excited to go back.
I mean, we're probably going to go as either guest or vendors, either way. So, but at the moment we are registered to go. Yep. We just haven't paid or anything. They haven't asked anybody to pay.
Yep.
But we are on the agenda for Steampunk November next year, and that's like I think it's like the first or second weekend of November. I don't know if they actually put out the dates, but yeah. So if y'all know anybody that is interested in the Tulsa, Bartlesville area, we're trying to get somebody to be a local volunteer, which really just entails basically going to the Affair of the Heart twice a year. It's a 3-day show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's deer season.
And then
yeah.
And then also, every say 2 months or so, basically come over and help me do inventory, clean models, pre-pack stuff.
Yeah. Real
so
easy
as far as
stuff.
The effort you need to put in is basically 3-day weekends, and then like a couple hours every couple months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's minimal time. We're not asking somebody to put in 20 hours a week or something.
Right. Super casual.
Now, granted, those 3 days, it's probably pretty rough. It'd be like 3 12-hour days.
Yeah,
But-
it's gonna be, but it'll be fun. There's a big difference. Like a 12-hour day goes by really quick when you're having fun.
Yeah. So if you know anybody, it doesn't have to be a veteran. Obviously a veteran would be cool, but just
Yeah.
anybody that's passionate about our same goals of helping veterans, that's all we're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Know anybody that might interest? They like helping or volunteering or 3D printing or they're a veteran or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
send them our way. There's 50 billion ways to get a hold of us through any social media, email, or if you know me personally, feel free to give them my phone number.
Yep.
But that's our goal. If we can recruit somebody locally, then we're going to start going to a Fair of the Heart twice a year. The only guaranteed event that we have would be Steampunk November if we don't get that volunteer.
Yep. And the
that's pretty much
final,
it for
well,
Rum Gaming
for
news.
RUM-Gaming news, we have one more. We skipped over it, but I haven't gotten anything, so we'll announce it now. We have we've brought in a new volunteer to the RUM-Gaming association, and it is Cookie. She's going to be kind of our social media person, so you might see some posts across all of our social media, be it Discord, Facebook, Twitter, things like that, from Cookie. So make sure you go to all of those. If you see them, you like them, you comment on them, you share it, show her some love, post some support. We're very grateful that she's willing to help us out.
And be on the lookout for any kind of events or special announcement too. We kind of gave her full reign to do whatever she wants to do. So backing up if she wants to host any kind of little online events.
Yeah. I mean, she's. I mean, we know her and we've spoken to her on many occasions. We know she's real into doing the conventions and stuff out in her area. So, who knows? You might spot a wild Cookie out there. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, and she's been kind of, supporting us behind the scenes for the last couple of years.
Yeah, she's honestly, since the beginning, she's been around since before this was a nonprofit, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because
Kind of on the
I
fence.
met
We
her.
met her in ARC.
Yeah, I met her in ARC, and that was this wasn't a nonprofit while we were like really playing ARC. Because
The
I met
whole
her my first time
timeline
playing
kind of
ARC.
blurs together for me.
Yeah, because you play ARC, so I know I met her the first time I played ARC.
Well, I meant being with RUM-Gaming since literally its concept.
Yeah,
to now.
right.
It's like where that line in the sand is for me. It's like, oh man, I can't ever keep track.
Yeah, no, she's been around for a really long time, and we're happy that she's helping us out. So everybody say welcome to Cookie.
RUM-Gaming was just a gaming community for 6 years.
Yeah,
we're just hit our 4th year of being an official nonprofit this past November.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 and 4, it's hard for me to figure out when I met certain people.
Oh yeah, and especially with all the people we've met, Yeah,
because now we're I think it was a summer that we created the clan. Yeah, so this summer it'll be 11 years from when we originally created the RUM-Gaming clan.
Yeah.
It's like 11 years of gaming and hundreds of people between running servers and playing on servers.
Yeah. All the servers we would run.
Yeah. Messaging me like, hey, what have you been up to? You remember me? I'm like,
so if we haven't played in the last like 6 months, no, I don't remember you.
I mean, there's people that like I played with every day on a survival game for 6 months straight, knew their names, knew their families, knew their job. But then you never, once you like quit playing that server, like it's like they don't even exist.
But there's a few people. There's a few people that you just don't ever forget, though, right? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
You'll never
like
forget
Cookie
Pickle.
has always come back.
Yeah, you'll never forget Pickle. You never forget Cookie. You never forget Hugh. Like,
yeah. Well, some of the originals,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, so show your love to Cookie. Welcome her to the RUM-Gaming family as a volunteer for our social media, and keep a lookout. On to our veteran topics. This one, Goat, you've actually put some interesting stuff on here. I'm going to go ahead and let you take the lead on this one as well.
Yeah, well, we can dive into that. So we're, as most veterans know, some of the most important veteran news that ever comes out is the first of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, our first of the year pulse stream is kind of too close to really have a lot of that news.
Yeah.
So here we are in February announcing it. So one of the interesting ones is our annual pay raise. So for those of you who aren't aware, kind of like a lot of corporate jobs have like set or not set. Every year they give out some kind of pay raise, and it's usually depending on merit or whatever. The VA does the same thing. Everybody that's on disability, whether it's 10% or 100%, gets an increase to that every year. And just how much of it varies. And
it
I kind of looked at the
on
criteria for that.
Basically.
Yeah, it was a list of things, but yeah.
Yeah, cost of living, inflation, all it's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And surprisingly, this year is one of the lowest in a while, but it was only 2.5% that we'll be getting this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in comparison, going back, which I don't have 2024 is for some reason, but 2023 is 3.2, 2022 was 8.7.
Yeah.
And then 5.9 in 2021.
I remember the bump in 2022. That one was,
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, there was some pretty significant ones, but it averages out to like 2.6 over the last decade. So
yeah,
technically 2.5 is right on the average.
Yeah.
But,
and to be honest with you, I mean, I'm one of the people, I feel very blessed to be, to have a disability payment that is almost enough to pay my mortgage. So, I'm not even
expensive mortgage.
I'm not even gonna complain about a 2.5. I'll take it. Yeah.
But for some people that live off of that disability check, though, 2.5 hits a little harder.
Yeah, true.
Because, for example, even if you're at 100% disability, that means you get an extra $93.45 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And when, cost of eggs and groceries is going up $10 a day.
Yeah.
That $93 a month just almost feels like, well, I'm still going to be living paycheck to paycheck this year.
Yeah.
But, that's why most veterans, they find other ways to make ends meet. There's a lot of programs out there that help out.
Yep.
The other changes was there's been a couple things when it comes to these disability ratings that have just been kind of hard to really gauge and figure out what percentages they should give people. One of them that most veterans are aware of is tinnitus, and that's basically ringing in your ears, whether it's every once in a while, light ring, heavy ring, headache ring, any level from 1% to I can't hear anything. And they always just gave you a flat 10% disability for that. And that would just add on to whatever else is wrong with you. And for most people in the military, you always end up with some kind of ringing because we're not always using ear protection when we're supposed to. There's also not an opportunity to get ear protection when you need it. It's always some kind of bangs of some kind. Not always guns, just...
Yeah. Well, I mean, 3M went through that big class action
well,
lawsuit.
then there's that.
Yeah.
Even if you were using them, apparently they weren't good enough.
Nope.
So you'll find that a lot of veterans that have disability have tinnitus tied into it.
Yeah.
But it's also practically impossible to prove whether you have it or not.
Yeah. And I gotta say, a lot of people have taken advantage of it. Like, I remember being told to my face by the doctor to, like, hey, your ears ring, right? And I'm like, I mean, no, not really. They're like, no, but your ears ring, right? And I'm like, and then they wink, like they literally winked at me. And I'm like, oh yeah, my ears ring. They're like, okay, good. Like it does get abused. I do understand. But because, like you said, it is virtually impossible to test for. There's no test that can prove whether you have it or not.
Yeah, there's things that could give them a better idea, but the cost of and time of running all these tests would almost cost them more than it is to give you the extra 10%.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because 10% is like, if you have just 10% disability, like, what do you get in a month? You're getting like $100, maybe.
Yeah, basically. Well, I was on 20%, and I was getting $300.
But
so
you
I guess
also
you'd
had
get roughly
dependents.
150.
You had a
No, I
dependent.
didn't, because I didn't know about that until my increase.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get about $150 a month for 10%.
Yeah.
And it used to be that it could be a standalone disability. You could have nothing else wrong with you except a slight ringing in your ears, and you get $150 a month.
Yeah.
But now they're making it where it has to be tied to some other compensatable condition.
Yes.
So there has to be something else wrong with you, and then we'll add tinnitus on top of that.
Yeah.
So for some people, it can reduce their benefits, because I guess some people have tinnitus as their primary condition. So if you're only getting 10% for tinnitus and then like 5% for your janky ankle or something,
Yeah.
then you might lose, your benefits altogether, or you might be dropped down to 5%
Yeah.
because you can't have tinnitus as your primary condition. So some people, they might go from their $200-$300 a month to $50 a month.
Yeah.
Maybe some of those people that are faking it'll do it, or it'll prompt people to go in and get themselves reevaluated.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those people. It's coming up on time where I need to get reevaluated for some things that I want to stay the same, but also things that I need added. So yeah, it's definitely something that is good to know for any veterans that are drawing disability.
And then
The next one,
like,
I actually have an article pulled up on screen here, so I'll talk about the next one. The next one is they're getting stricter on their rating criteria for sleep apnea. So in the past, if you had sleep apnea in any capacity, it was an automatic 50% disability rating. And
which,
that's,
by the way, is semi-difficult to get on your disability rating to begin with.
Yeah.
Because you have to prove I don't sleep well because of the military.
Yeah.
Which can be semi-hard to do.
Yeah. But now they're changing it. They're making it a little bit stricter, which is a good and a bad thing. I mean, it definitely is concerning for all of the people that do have sleep apnea. But from what I have done, the research that I have found is they're not going to retroactively reduce people.
Yeah.
So if you are already at a 50% or above for your sleep apnea, it's going to stay that way. They're not going to change it. But new applicants are going to have these rules here, and I actually have them pulled up now. So the VA disability ratings for sleep apnea now are going to be a 0% rating is going to be a diagnosis without significant symptoms or required treatment. A 30% for daytime sleepiness impacting daily abilities. 50% if a prescription of a CPAP or other breathing assistance is required. And 100% rating in severe cases with complications like heart issues. So you can only get a 50% rating if the VA determines that a CPAP is required, or your symptoms are severe enough to require one.
I wonder if they're going to have anything in between 50 and 100.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting because I do believe a lot of people have other symptoms or other conditions as a symptom of sleep apnea. Like a lot of people have acid reflux, really bad acid reflux because of the sleep apnea. It's just it's just a side effect. Like if you cure the sleep apnea, you cure the acid reflux. And so it's tricky.
So for those of you that don't know exactly what sleep apnea is, also, It's whenever your breathing stops or becomes significantly reduced for at least 10 seconds while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is the scale of which you're considered severe or lightly, or what did it say on that chart? Or I guess it didn't say.
It was significant, and then daytime sleepiness, and prescription CPAP, and then severe.
Yeah. So severe is if you have 30 or more episodes an hour.
Yeah, I had 81.
Sleeping. So 30 is technically the maximum, right? Anything past that, you're just also severe.
Yeah.
And like Jason said, you were what, 81?
81. Yeah.
I'm 110.
That's, yeah, I believe that. I've listened to you fucking sleep, dude.
So it's crazy to think that I am 3 times over the limit of what's considered severe.
Yeah.
But
it's funny.
To my knowledge, I don't have any heart issues.
No.
So it's funny that like you reach 50% by just meeting the 30.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how many repetitions get you over the 50%? Because Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's got to the point. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, you may have super severe, but it's not severe enough for heart issues, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like, just to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Just maybe bring it up during my next annual.
It was pretty scary because the very first time I did my sleep test, it was right before I got out of the Navy. I did my sleep test, and for those of you who haven't done this, you go into a facility and they like put all these like probes and things with like the sticky gel all over your head.
Have a picture of myself.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them as well. But if you want to send it to me on Discord, I'll throw it up on the screen. But they put all these nodes all over your head, and then you have to sleep with like all these wires and shit hanging off you. It's incredibly awkward. And then so while you sleep, they're collecting data on how you breathe, your heart rate, your blood pressure. They're collecting everything. And there's actually a person, a technician that sits at the computer and watches the computer and watches the data the whole time you're sleeping. So there's always someone there. Obviously not in the same room. They like close the door, you control the lights or whatever, but it's a process. And getting the glue out of your hair is a huge pain in the ass, I'll let you know. But anyway, I did the sleep test, and I had the consult with the doctor after, and the doctor, one of the first things he told me when he sat me down, he was like, well, you have sleep apnea. And I was like, oh, what gave it away? And he was like, well, let me tell you this. I've been doing this for 25 years. Yours is the worst case I've ever seen. And I was like, oh, really? So either he hasn't had all that much experience in 25 years or, you know, it's pretty bad. And I do feel like it's gotten better over the years. So it's probably the last time. I don't remember what my number was the very first time, but the most recent time I remember it was 81. But yeah.
Yeah, I've done 2 sleep studies. They were both over 100 both times.
I think my first one was over 100, but this most recent one was 81.
And I can't find this, which I swear I recently saw it. But
yeah,
I don't know where.
But yeah, so changes to the sleep apnea. So if you are a veteran and you have not put in for your disability benefits and you have sleep apnea, do it now, like tomorrow now, before these changes take effect and you lose out, because you might. And the final thing we have on the docket here is actually a shout out to someone that we met at Steampunk November this year. A fellow veteran. They have a resource for veteran programs that they asked us to help them talk about. So I wanted to kind of show it out. I have the website here up on screen for you. It is clcinc.org/veterans. They do all kinds of free training programs, financial assistance, and home modification grants. So if you need, help with any kind of training programs, whether it be HVAC technician, welding, aerospace, CNC machining, you can go to CLC Inc. and they will help you get training and maybe even get hired in these fields. You can donate to them. So a big shout out to CLC Inc. Eric Majors was the one that asked us to shout them out. So yeah, check them out. There will be here coming up soon. There will be a link on our website if there isn't already. There actually might already be. Let's see here.
I mean, like you said, if not, there will be.
Yeah, there is not at the moment, but there will be here shortly a link for this website, so you can go check it out for yourself. So definitely go check them out, clcinc.com. If you're a veteran, you want some training and some trade programs, they can help.
And I put the link in chat there.
Yeah, the link is also in chat. So go ahead and check that out. Next up on the docket is our gaming updates. Last month we talked about a couple of things that I'm going to be bringing up again, kind of doing a follow-up on.
Speaking of, did you try out that demo?
Which demo?
Of the Bionic Bay?
I did not. I did not.
Dang.
I did not. That's on my list. It's
I'm
on
just
my
as
list.
bad though. I've had it installed for like 2 weeks. Still haven't opened it up.
Yeah.
I was hoping you did. I could be like, is it worth playing?
No, I haven't tried it out yet. I did.
We're both slackers.
I did, however, try out Citizen Sleeper 2. If you're into like text-based kind of D&D style text-based games, pretty interesting. I got about 20 minutes into it. I wasn't in the mood for that type of game. I was into it. It was really cool, but just wasn't my speed at the time, so I didn't put too much time into it, but it seemed pretty interesting. But I wanted to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement. If any of you have seen kind of like the advertisement for it, let me see if I can pull it up here on the stream while I talk about it. But they announced a Switch 2 where it looks like the controllers are like can be used like mice, like you can like put them on their side and like move them around on a table. It's weird looking, and the way that they are connecting to the Switch doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like there's going to be a really, really big issue with like the controller snapping off. It looks really funky. So we've got
I think I remember seeing something like that.
Yeah,
but
I've got the.
It almost looked like they were more like physically a part of it, but I also didn't watch like the video.
Yeah, I mean they're making it bigger, which is cool. But I don't get why they designed the controller attachment that way.
That's cool. It's got a stand.
Yeah.
Looking at those grooves, it doesn't look like it.
Well, they're changing it. See, look. It's like a little stick port now. Instead of like a slide-in groove, it's just like almost like plugging in your phone to a phone charger.
Yeah, but it could still break off.
That's what I'm saying.
Or crack the case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just that looks like a really bad design choice. And then this. Like, yeah.
I guess I haven't caught up to what this is.
But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that controller design. I feel like that's big point of failure there. So they may have to rethink that.
It looks like I don't know if it's magnetized or what, but it looks like it's just kind of hanging on there. Well, that and they might fall off as you're carrying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm interested to see how that works out on release. So I definitely won't be the first in line to buy one like I was for the first Switch. I was like the second or third person in Houston to own one, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, next on my list here is really, really kind of heartbreaking for me. I spoke a lot about the release of Hyperlight Breaker last month on our weekly pulse about how excited I was about it. I haven't played it myself, but the Steam reviews aren't looking good, folks. The community is not receiving it well, which is a shame. Because to be honest with you, it's not often where I kind of trust reviews at face value. But when you go to Steam and I see mixed, I can pretty well trust that the game is not going to be what we're hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes though, I don't know. I still go and give them a read because sometimes people are just asking too much.
Yeah, I try to give like a cursory glance of the reviews because some people will just bitch about stuff that don't mean anything. You know?
Yeah, they were like, "You promised the free weekend would be 4 days, and it was only 3, so this game is trash." And
Yeah,
it's like,
oh well,
really?
The picture for this cosmetic is blue, but when I got it, it was purple, and now I hate the game. It's like, okay, shut up.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I mean, a lot of these reviews that I'm seeing that are negative are really thought out. You know, like this one in particular, like upon loading onto your first Hyperlight Breaker solo game, you are met with a large, vibrant map with lots to explore, collect, and fight. However, the game slowly divulges into random enemies running at you from all directions every couple of seconds. He says it's an extraction game. He said, I was all in for a roguelike open world extraction game. However, who is this game tuned for, and why is it doubling down on punishing the player consistently? Like, so apparently it's really difficult. It didn't have any kind of spirit of the first game, which is really difficult for me to hear because I really enjoyed the first game. Just overall has been not the experience that everybody expects. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a bad experience because, you know, you could take people not liking the game because it's hard with a grain of salt, you know. But yeah, I mean, to hear that it's not what everybody was expecting it to be is, you know, a little disappointing.
Well, yeah. I mean, because you can look at like how I was reviewing Aloft, where it's like, even though it's literally in their main description of this is a cozy survival game,
Yeah,
I'm over like, man, this game sure is cozy.
well, we haven't reviewed Aloft on stream yet. You just talked about it with me, but yeah,
I know, that's what I'm saying. As we talked about it, I was saying I was almost mad that it was cozy.
Yeah,
Even though it says in the title it's
Yeah.
cozy. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not cozy. Yeah, but it's in the title. That's beside the point. This game's garbage. But I'll never make a post like that. I'm always, you know, I'll just say, hey, it's in the title. Beware. They're serious.
Yeah.
It's cozy.
I mean, speaking of Aloft, since we're on the topic, why don't you tell us about it? You wanted to give your thoughts on it since we talked about it last week after playing it for about 12 hours now. What do you think?
I mean, it's almost kind of what I was saying. It's just, there's no way for it to really not be cozy. So if you like playing survival games like I do, trying to just hustle your way through and get strong and get built up, it's not designed for that.
Yeah.
It's meant for you to take it easy and cozy.
Yeah.
But otherwise, really cool game, really cool concept. Love flying around the glide suit, controlling your own little island base, and
Yeah.
like it's a lot of fun. But it is definitely cozy. It's not meant for the people that like to play like hardcore Arc 7 days, you know,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
for those that like the more casual game life, that, you know, you think that the other ones are too stressful, this one's the perfect game for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it looks like. I haven't had a chance to drop in and play it yet, but I probably will. Next up on our docket, Dune Awakening is expected to release early this year for PC. I have to say, I've seen some gameplay. It it looks incredible. It looks like it's going to be a blast. And I really hope that it doesn't play anything like Conan Exiles. That's my biggest hope, right? Because it's made by the same people. I hope that they put something different, because I didn't like Conan. I couldn't exactly pinpoint what it was about Conan. I didn't care for it.
See, different. I loved Conan. The only thing I didn't like about Conan from a PvP perspective was, at least originally, when it originally launched, was like the game had a feature where you could basically like get enough things to sacrifice to whatever god that was for your religion, and then you could summon that god, and it would one-shot anything in its path for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if your base was made out of straw or steel. Just base gone. Like,
Yeah.
so from a PvP perspective, it was like, what's the point? Like, I'm basically only building out of steel, so some idiot with an axe doesn't chop down my straw door. But it doesn't matter, because as soon as he gets enough stuff for a god, my whole base is gone.
Yeah.
Weeks of work gone in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So that aspect just turned me away from it, because I was always into the PvP survival.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've seen some gameplay of this new Dune Awakening, and it looks good. I'm excited for it to come out, because I've really been getting the itch for a survival game, man. I can't wait for Space Engineers 2 to open up the multiplayer. I want to dive in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dune
Even
Awakening.
though Space Engineers really is just space Minecraft. I mean, there's not a lot of PvE content to do.
But it's damn
nice
fun.
Just to see it in a much prettier
it's damn
environment.
fun. Yeah, so Dune Awakening early this year. So it could be tomorrow, could be a couple of months from now. Who knows?
Yeah. I think they'll have a date on it before it's tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, you know, maybe they'll drop a bomb on us and be like, "Hey, by the way, our game drops tomorrow," and we're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like,
it's not enough time for me to put in PGO.
Yeah, right. Another game I wanted to highlight, next game on our docket, is a game called Vane. Now, if any of you have ever played Project Zomboid, matter of fact, I'll go ahead and pull up Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is a zombie survival game. It is, kind of top down, but it's the graphics aren't anything special, but it's hyper realistic, right? Like every container, you have to, if you break a window and you try to climb through it, you have to like clear the glass out of the window or you'll cut your hand on the shards, and it's, zombie horde management, survival, hardcore survival. You die, your character's over, right? And the game, the longer you survive in the game, the more difficult it gets, right? You can like build your own base. You can upgrade existing things to make them stronger, to make them like a safe house. You can mod the game. It's just really, really cool. Well, another developer has plans to release this game, Vane, which appears to be just like Project Zomboid, but in first person, which I think is pretty cool. And I wanted to highlight it just because, the graphics, again, this is in alpha. This game is not released yet, so the graphics aren't anything to write home about, but I think having a first person version of Project Zomboid is pretty cool. And they have a free demo that you can play right now on Steam, so check it out. They don't have a release date or anything like that, just says coming soon. They did, however, release a devlog on the 30th of January, so it's not dead. They are working on it. So yeah, I mean, it shows relevant 7 Days to Die, DayZ, Project Zomboid. It's kind of all of those packed into one. It looks really promising, so get that free demo. Go check out Vane. Looks like fun.
I was hoping I'd have some news similar to that, but because kind of the reverse order, 7 Days a while back announced, they already have the first person version of their game, and now they're creating the top-down 4v1 version of the game.
Oh, really?
Or it might not all be top-down. It's kind of like Dead by Daylight. It's 4 survivors trying to survive the person that controls the zombie horde of the 7 Days.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I thought we talked about it before.
We might, yeah, I think we might have, yeah.
But they still just have, quote unquote, coming soon. So,
yeah. It's always
like,
fun
speaking
when
of
you
which,
see that.
I wonder if that one's out. The games that come up with another version of their own game from a different perspective.
Yeah. Oh, I also want to give some gaming shout outs to two of our community members. One of them being myself for getting Keystone Master and WoW for the first time ever this season. So the first time I've ever. That's the
Have
first
you
time
ever gotten it?
I've never gotten Keystone Master before, so the first time I've ever gotten that achievement, I got this season thanks to the help of Goat and Mudslide in here, and the other one, and Jandera, and one of our other community members who also got it, Biggie. I don't know if it's his first ever. It might be. I don't know, but we got him KSM this season as well. So congratulations to him on getting Keystone Master for WoW. For those of you who don't know what that is, every time you do a mythic rating dungeon, which is the hardest type of dungeon in the game, you get a rating for it. It can, and it's based on points. And so the higher difficulty dungeon you do, the more points you get. And to get the achievement, you have to have 2,000 points to get the Keystone Master achievement. And that requires, I think, a level 6 of just about every dungeon that season.
And then like a couple 7s.
Yeah, level 6 and then a couple of 7s of every dungeon. So it's not an easy task. We'll put it that way. It can be done pretty easily, but for casual players, it's not an easy task. There are certainly people that get it day one of the season. Like I can tell you, I've seen the mount that like 2 days after the season started. I've seen that the KSM mount already. So it was like, some people are crazy, but yeah, big shout out to that. And Goat, I think you have one final topic on there. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to skip it?
No, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, pretty quick. All right.
Yeah, just random. Maybe the parent in me kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I just noticed when I was scrolling through Steam this past weekend, because you always periodically go to the store, see what's new, and they actually have that section down at the bottom that's
popular, new and trending, upcoming,
yeah, and it gives you a little thumbnail, like screenshots to the right of each title as you mouse over them. But the first one's always highlighted, the top one at the list, and then it has pictures off to the side. And it was just almost disappointing because I know these little like hentai, animated, pervy games exist on Steam.
Yeah,
but normally you don't see them unless you're deep diving into the search or something.
Yeah.
Once you click enough pages down, it's kind of like a Google search. Once you get past second, third, fourth page, you're going to see some weird stuff.
Yeah. You're starting to get into the weeds a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this one was like the #1 game and already had the screenshots. And it was just like chicks and
full-blown porn.
Their lingerie and stuff. It was just like the snippet right before it turns into porn was the 4 previews. And then you click on it to look at the game. No, it's straight porn.
Yeah.
It's just, what do you call it? Like anime porn.
Yeah,
not animated, but like anime porn.
Yeah, I think hentai is what it's called.
And it was just like, come on, man. Like, why is this the top most trending game that if my kid was to go and look for new games,
it's like, I'm not going
to be the most #1 recommended game.
I'm not going to shame anybody for enjoying those kinds of games and buying and playing those games. That's for you. That's fine, right? But I feel like Steam has a responsibility to not promote that. Like if you want to find it
for small children all the way to senior citizens,
it's like I'm all for it. I'm all for if you want to find it, it's there, right? That's great, but that's not something that should be on your top 5 most popular new releases, right? Yeah. Especially when you have, again, kids that use Steam. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It was funny because when you brought that up to me, I went to my Steam and sure enough, there it was. Boom, same as me. It's like, okay, so it's not just you. It's everyone. everyone was seeing this. It wasn't like just us because we dig through the weeds of Steam sometimes. Like, no. Like, it was it had to have been everyone.
Yeah. So it was, kind of disappointing as a long-term
It's just both
Steam member. Yeah, it's just us.
Just us, yeah.
It's just what we're into, man.
Yeah. That's what I spend all my time doing.
I've never even watched regular anime, let alone anime porn.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's no shame in those games, right? Like, there's no reason to be ashamed of playing that stuff. But again, Steam should have the responsibility to not actively promote it.
I mean, in my opinion, it should never show up on your new and trending. It should be something like that. You would have to search for it.
Yeah, it should be.
There's
it should be filtered
a category
out.
or something for it.
It should be filtered out by default, and I honestly I think it is.
Yeah, maybe there's like a mature filter.
I know for a fact there is a mature filter in your Steam settings that will filter out.
Well, yeah, but it cuts out things that are just gory too. I mean,
yeah,
that's like you turn that on and then you're not even seeing things like the new Doom game or Call of Duty game.
Yeah, you won't like if you turn that on, it'll filter out Rust because there's genitalia in Rust. It'll filter out Ark because there's genitalia in Ark. It'll filter out Cyberpunk 2077. So like you're missing out on all these games.
You're not nude in Ark.
You're not. I thought you could.
Conan.
Oh yeah, Conan. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking Conan. Sorry, but yeah. So like, it's pretty restrictive, and I do believe it is on by default. But yeah, there is a filter. Well, again, even if there's a filter, that shouldn't be on your number one new and popular.
Yeah. If anything, there needs to be like two filters, like your normal, mature filter, and then like an X filter.
Yeah, yeah.
That way, we're like, fine. I'm fine with my kid, seeing Call of Duty and stuff like that. But
yeah,
come on. We don't need the newest hentai, whatever the fuck it's called, game being on the top thing I see.
I gotta say though, I took a look. It looks like it's got a pretty interesting gameplay loop. I gotta say, they put some time and thought into it. I'll give them that.
Jeez. And that's why it's on your list.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they heard you say that.
Yeah, they heard me. Well, it's funny. the funny thing is, I'm feeling kinky button. That's great. No, but the funny thing is, I went to go check today before the stream. It's not there anymore.
Well, even when I was talking to you about it, I went like to a game and then went back to the homepage, and it wasn't there.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
not there anymore.
Exit out and went back again, and it was.
Well,
it was just kind of
the weird thing is, like, before we started the stream, I was actively looking for it. Like, I went to new and popular and like went to show more. I was like, come on, I got to see it so I can kind of pull it up on stream. I couldn't find it. Like, it was gone. I didn't look up the actual name of the game. I know we put it there. I didn't actually look it up, but I tried to find it. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, so like right now it brings up Destiny 2, The Sims.
Yeah, because The Sims has I mean, that's a good announcement. The Sims is doing a cool sale right now on Steam. So if you're into the Sims games, go to Steam. They're doing
birthday bundle, legacy collection.
Yeah, they've got a sale on all of their DLC and expansions, every single one of them, even the newest one, like the one that we talked about a few episodes ago that I was kind of excited for. So
yeah, like After Death.
Life After Death. Yeah, that one's even on sale. So if you're into The Sims, go check it out. They got some crazy deals going. But that's going to do it for our stream tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Like always, go check out our social media. Go check out our website, rum-gaming.com. Go check us out on X. Go check us out on Facebook. Join our Discord and game with us. If you have any resources that you would like us to share in upcoming videos, please let us know. You can email us at info@rum-gaming.com. If you know anybody that may be interested in volunteering to help us out in any kind of capacity, we're looking for social media, we're looking for graphic design, we're looking for video editors, we're looking for 3D print designers, we're looking for any capacity that relates to our vision. We're looking for help.
And the social media one is more like just online content.
Yeah.
if you like hosting tournaments or something,
Right.
and want to like start hosting Call of Duty tournaments or something, and we can offer free 3D print time as a prize or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. Yeah. If you've got people that just like to do, yeah, like you said, organize events and stuff like that, send them our way. You know, we'd be happy to facilitate stuff like that. If you are an Amazon Prime member, make sure you link your Twitch account so you can use your free Twitch Prime subscription. You don't have to use it on us, but use it on someone, because every sub you use takes money out of Jeffrey Bezos' pocket so he doesn't build another penis-shaped rocket. And I think that's
also,
it. Oh, no, you got something.
There's one that we always like fail to shout out often enough, and that's our Humble Bundle partnership.
Yes. Humble
So
Bundles.
I'm
Let me
just
pull that up. Let's see.
I'm
What is...
I'm dropping the newest link. So there's
What is
5 days
Humble
left on the Humble Bundle winter sale right now.
What do they got going on here? Let's pull it up for everybody to see. Let's see.
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2, the story. Oh, all the DLC. So you can get current with Destiny for $30. That's
$294 value.
That's incredible. So yeah, if you wanted to hop into Destiny or you're behind on Destiny, $30 you can get it, or you can do a 3-item bundle for $5.
And there's our link right there. If you go to that link, you'll get it. We'll get a portion of what you buy will go to RUM-Gaming.
Yeah. If you're into books, Humble Bundle doesn't just do games. They do books. Books on gaming programming, Linux. Mudslide, thank you very much for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. 25 months. But they've got machine learning masterclasses, database.
There's Elf Quest.
Yeah, Elf Quest. Hobbies and games for dummies. Let's see. Software. They always have really, really cool software for music development and game development. Look at this. Royalty for your music. Elites Creators. Learn to Code 2025. Just all kinds of wonderful, wonderful things for a wonderful price. So check them out and benefit from the wonderful bundles. All of the money that you use goes to charity. So this isn't like you're lining Humble Bundle's pockets. They're putting all this money back. So it's a good cause, and go check it out. And I hope everyone has a wonderful night
and a wonderful month. We'll see you next month with more exciting RUM news.
Yes. Hint, we may have a special guest.